Hello and welcome to Mystery Made Known, primers about all things Jesus and the Gospel. Now you may have heard the term talking the talk and walking the walk. Well, in this video we're considering what I'm calling walking the talk, whether our lives lived looks anything like what we claim to believe in terms of Jesus and the Gospel. Have you ever used or heard this phrase? Did you even hear what I just said? Yet pretty common. It's the standard go-to phrase when you've just said something to somebody and then they go and completely disregard what you just said to them. Or maybe you've had it said to you. I know I have. It's a classic form of human behaviour. It has some of the traits of what analysts call cognitive dissonance, the state of having inconsistencies in thought, behaviour and belief. Saying one thing but then doing the opposite. This is certainly nothing new and probably as ancient as the human race itself. It should caution anybody who thinks that all we need to do to sort things out is just to improve our reasoning. The problem isn't the condition of our reasoning, it's the condition of the human soul. This ability to walk differently from our talk, to say one thing but not live it out, this ability is embedded in the Bible as one of humanity's deepest flaws. I can still recall the words of a Christian speaker placed between two tracks on one of my favourite rock albums. He said, "The greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and then walk out of the door and deny him by their lifestyle. That is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable." Now, I'm not sure I entirely agree with the entire statement, but I have heard firsthand people who reject Jesus because of the hypocrisy they perceive in Christians, or simply because these Christians don't live the lives that look any different to their own. But as we shall see, this is a problem that goes way back to the people of God, even in the Old Testament. A good Old Testament example of what we're talking about here is found in the book of the prophet Ezekiel at the end of chapter 33. It reads, "As for you, son of man," that is Ezekiel, "your people are talking together about you by the walls and at the doors of the houses, saying to each other, 'Come and hear the message that has come from the Lord.' My people come to you as they usually do and sit before you to hear your words. But they do not put them into practice. Their mouths speak of love, but their hearts are greedy for unjust gain. Indeed, to them you're nothing more than one who sings love songs with a beautiful voice and plays an instrument well. For they hear your words, but do not put them into practice." See, it says it all. Outwardly pro-God, but inwardly not. Now we need to understand that the words that the prophets often speak were heavy words of warning and rebuke against ignoring God's ways. And yet here it says they treated it all like a rock concert, all flocking to be wowed by the celebrity speaker. The big reveal is in the lines that read, "My people come to you as they usually do and sit before you to hear your words, but they do not put them into practice. Their mouths speak of love, but their hearts are greedy for unjust gain." It seems they're well into the whole God scene in terms of the thrill of the regular gathering and program, but that's as far as it goes with them. They walk away unaffected. Their lives lived out contradict the words they flocked to hear. If this is the case in the Old Testament, we shouldn't be surprised to find it exposed all the more in the New Testament. As good as an example as any is in John's Gospel. At the beginning of John's Gospel, we find Jesus' ministry described in this way. Many people saw the signs Jesus was performing and believed in him, but Jesus would not entrust himself to them, for he knew all people. That is, he didn't trust their outward response because he knew what people were really like on the inside. And then in chapter 12, things come to a head with people flocking to Jesus for raising Lazarus from the dead, celebrating as he enters Jerusalem like a king. But we are soon told in the chapter that many believed in Jesus, but they wouldn't go public with this for fear of the social consequences. They said Jesus is Lord and King, but then lived as if somebody else was. Jesus exposes and addresses this condition when he declares, "I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. If anyone hears my words but does not keep them, I do not judge that person, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. There is a judge for the one who rejects me and does not accept my words. The very words that I have spoken will condemn them at the last day." This is really important. Jesus doesn't come to judge, but rescue. A person judges themselves by the way they respond to what Jesus says. And a person reveals what they really think about what Jesus says, not so much by what they say, but by the way they live their life out each day. So let's recap. With Ezekiel, the people who claimed to be God followers flocked to hear God speak through his prophet, then completely ignored it with their lives. Likewise, people flocked to Jesus, understandably wowed and excited by what he did and said, but then they too denied all this through their lives. They simply didn't walk their talk. Jesus exposes this reality with these penetrating and sobering words. "Not everybody who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name drive out demons? And in your name perform many miracles?' Then I will tell them plainly, 'I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers.'" While these words may be not categorized as comforting to me, they are a blessing because they keep me alert. It isn't the calling Jesus Lord or even a legacy of Christian ministry and activity that authenticates my faith in him, but rather knowing him. The writings of the Apostle John emphasize this point and clarifies it with phrases like this: "Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." And so we come to the heart of the issue, the human heart. It is the love of God in Jesus poured into our hearts by the Holy Spirit, the love of God received and shared that truly defines and reveals authentic faith in Jesus. The life of faith that is aware of this truth and pursues it with everything is the life that reveals Jesus to the world around them. So I wonder where you are in all this. Do you and I walk our talk, or more to the point, do we walk the Jesus talk? Do we live out his words? Is Jesus saying to you and to me, "Did you even hear what I said?" Well, the good news is you and I can. We can walk the talk. We can reveal the love of Jesus to the world around us. We have to be alert and sensitive to our ability, along with everybody else, to flock to Jesus and yet deny him by the life we live. The best test is when something in life squeezes us. What comes out? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness and self-control? Or fear, anger, hate, sorrow, disappointment, resentment, offense and judgment? Remember, you and I are totally capable in Jesus of a life of love that changes the world. So let's go for it. So I pray that you will be able to discern where you stand on all this. I pray that the Holy Spirit of God will reveal any areas in your heart that compromise faith in Jesus. I pray that you will indeed receive and share the love of God for you in Jesus, that you will walk the talk.